Right, so by now you already have like a good idea on what you want to create, and you probably have a good notion of who is your ideal customer, but you have no idea on where to start selling your stuff. Hi, my name is Gonzalez, and in this channel I try to put everything that comes into my head and all the research that I do into my own art business. So if you're doing the same thing, you probably can use this as a guide for your own art project. And if you have watched the last videos that I've done, you will see that I have been using this book, Side Hustle by Chris Guillebeau, as my first approach into making all of this business idea. And the last tasks that I have read are basically about to making it easy for your potential customers to buy from you. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, to scrolling Instagram or something and you see this really cool project or this really cool craft, and then you wonder who is selling it or what's the price for it, and there's nowhere to know that. And this is something that you want to avoid, right? But what is actually the best place for you to start selling, especially if you're starting to sell your stuff from scratch, like when nobody knows you? And honestly, I don't have the perfect answer to this question. I don't think there's only one place for you to start selling your stuff. It will depend on what your craft is, and it will depend on who your ideal customer is, and I believe that it will depend on where you're at with your project right now. For example, if you're starting to sell your stuff from scratch, then you're probably better off starting to post your things on a very well-known shop that people can find you even if they don't know you exist. Examples of these are Etsy, Redbubble, Society6, TeePublic, Displayed, or Sedge. But one thing to know is that since these shops are so well known and a lot of people are both trying to sell and to buy from there, then you have a lot of competition, but you still have a chance to be found there. If you already have like an audience, or maybe you already have like some potential buyers, like you're the guy that people go to whenever they need a design, and you can already begin to start selling stuff from the beginning, then you're probably better off creating your own website, like a Shopify website, where you can start selling your stuff and where you have more control over things. If you're making t-shirts or some clothing or something that goes printed into merch or something like that, then maybe you can start with your own launch card plugged into a Printful account. Everything starts to work, but for this kind of business, I believe that you should already have someone that wants to buy from you. Continuing with this path, if you already have like a bigger audience, then maybe you can start thinking on things such as Patreon, or maybe launching a Kickstarter where people are actually waiting for you to sell something to them. Now, all of this might sound a little bit too obvious for some of you guys, but I think that, at least in my case, when I started to think about my own business, I went through some Patreon sites or maybe some good Kickstarter campaigns, and I saw that maybe someone came up with the perfect idea at the right time, and magically it reached thousands of people, and these people that didn't have anything could suddenly have like a really successful career. And I think like throughout the last couple of years and maybe the research that I've done recently, I found that it doesn't really work that way, or maybe it works for really like a really small amount of people that way. You have to work towards that success. Now, another thing that you have to bear in mind whenever you start selling your stuff is that you have to consider that there's also this other entire world, which is like where to post your art or where to promote your art, which is not necessarily the same place. And all I know for now are the common ones or the big ones like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, maybe ArtStation, and also maybe LinkedIn, probably your own website running some ads in it. Now, for what I have heard, and you probably have heard as well, right now TikTok and LinkedIn are platforms where you can start off from zero and reach to thousands, if not tens of thousands of people in a short period of time. So I believe that if you're starting like me, those are platforms that you should consider start posting your art. Meanwhile, in Facebook will probably take you more time or maybe money for you to start running ads. But people that find you on Facebook and start following you on Facebook, if you're clear from the beginning that you want to sell stuff, then people who follow you there will most likely expect for you to start selling stuff. Whereas in TikTok, converting that audience into people who will buy from you, that will probably be a harder thing to achieve. So I think that this video is more of an update on what I'm trying right now. And since I am starting off with wallpapers and posters, I think that starting with platforms that are well known right now, such as Displayed or Sedge, I am going to apply for those, because those platforms, you have to present your portfolio for you to begin start selling there, which I believe is also nice, because if you actually pass through that filter, then you probably have like less competition than you would have in a platform such as Etsy. That said, I also created an account on Etsy and Gumroad because I believe that those platforms have like a huge potential. One has like a really nice SEO, and the other one you have the potential to start building a big mailing list. So I think that those two like are really simple for you to start off with, and you have a really good potential of profit in the future. And for promoting or posting my art, I am going to start with Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and maybe the other ones I will start slowly to let them into my routine, because right now it's a lot of work to have a balance between my job and creating material for this channel, and then creating art for the other channel, and then to post that art and then to sell that art. So once I get into a routine, I believe that I will be able to start with new platforms and start trying new things. Now that said, I will leave all the list of platforms that I found in the description so that you can start doing some research. Maybe one of these will fit perfect into your new art business. And also I wanted to share with you this tool that I made using Google Sheets. I'm gonna leave a link for you to make your own copy on the description. It's basically for you to keep record of all the platforms where you create an account so that you can organize better. Maybe I kind of included here like all the platforms both for posting and promoting, and on the other side like all of the licenses and things that you will probably start purchasing or using for your own art business. As a final update on where things at with my own art project, which is Wall of Nam, this place where I want to create all of these mask related products. I believe that there's two things that need to happen as soon as possible, and one is to actually start creating art, because I have been focusing a lot in the strategy of the business and also on the lore of Wall of Nam, so that I can keep motivated and actually start getting inspired to create some visuals. But I haven't created art whatsoever. And the second thing is to do a lot more research on how to create an audience, because this is going to be essential for any business. And for that, I am also going to start reading this other book, which is 1 Million Followers by Brendan Kane, which I hope it will give us knowledge on how to grow our audiences from zero. I also bought this tutorial from Udemy, which is Facebook ads and Facebook marketing for beginners 2021, which I believe we will be able to put into good use once we start making art. I really need to start making art. Something that I read recently in the book that felt like a slap or like a wake-up call is that your side hustle should be making money for you. You shouldn't be making money for your side hustle. So what that means is that I really need to hurry into launching my art project, because otherwise all of these books and research that I'm doing will be worthless if I don't put them into action. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to mention you the platforms where I will begin to try to sell my art and where to promote it. Maybe you're considering to make a similar craft like digital illustrations and wallpapers. And always have in mind that what you want is to make your ideal customer happy, and that includes making the process of buying from you really easy and to deliver what you actually promise. And some of these platforms are ideal because they focus on all of this delivering, while you can focus more on the art. Finally, my sister's birthday was yesterday and my mom's birthday is today, and we decided that it would be really nice to go do some hiking on the lagoons with Boba, and also my mom asked me to wear a cap onto this video. So what do you think? Cap or no cap? Anyway, I will leave you with some footage of yesterday hiking. See you on the next one.